First, we have three speakers today. Mike Smith was named Executive Director of Big Brothers Big Sisters in January of 2012. Today marks his one-year anniversary with the organization. Mike's first experience with the organization was as a Big Brother while completing his undergraduate degree at York College. Before joining Big Brothers Big Sisters, Mike served in various fundraising roles with the United Way. Second speaker is Jeff Poet, a fellow Rotarian and president of Quality Dot, who's been in the Big Brother program since 2007. Jeff will share some of his experiences with the program. And our third speaker is Sharon Watts, who is the community mobilizer for York County Communities That Care. Having over 30 years of experience in the area of human services, collectively as an instructor, a counselor, and an executive, Sharon has been steering the coordinated works of the York County Communities That Care since March of 2012. York County Communities That Care has a mission that promotes the healthy development of the youth and communities of York County through programs that are proven to affect change. First to the microphone will be Mike Smith. Mike?
Good afternoon. I just want to thank you all for welcoming me here today. This is a pretty big stage for Big Brothers Big Sisters, so we appreciate your time and attention as we deliver our message here today. But before I move forward, I owe a thank you to this club. I serve as a board member for the York City Little League, and I know this club has been extremely supportive of our Little League efforts over the past, we're working on 10 years already, so I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you. I think there is a committee here chaired by Max. Thank you, Max. I do appreciate your support of our Little League. Season's well underway. We're getting started with our registration process, and looking forward to another good year this year as well. But today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about mentoring. Something that's sort of a passion of mine that I've developed with my time, serving as a Big Brother while I was at York College. I don't know if you know this or not, but January is actually National Mentoring Month. Throughout the month, and starting right about the beginning of the month, the White House actually issued a proclamation declaring January as National Mentoring Month. Tomorrow is actually Thank You Mentor Day. So I'm sure we all have mentors in our lives. So I ask that you take some time tomorrow and maybe shoot an email, give them a call, and thank them for the impact that they've made in your lives. I think our generation is understanding that we are living in a very grateful community, and fortunate to have leaders, many of them in this room, who have taken the time to mentor us as we grow in our careers and in our community lives. So thank you for taking the time to nurture us, and we'll certainly take the torch from you when you're ready to pass it on. I don't need to tell you about the impact that mentoring has. I mean, I certainly understand that, you get that. But I realize that we're not in the mentoring business alone. There's lots of other nonprofits and lots of other organizations that are out there doing mentoring in the community. Christmas Addicts, the YMCA, the YWCA, Leadership York, just to name a few. I believe Mayor Bracey also has a mentoring group. So we're not in this work alone. So thanks to all of those other organizations and some that I missed for the work that you do. Our agenda today, we're just going to quickly put the next slide. We're going to have a short presentation from York County's Communities That Care. I'm going to hop back up here and talk a little bit about Big Brothers Big Sisters, roll into our 30 Days recruitment campaign in an effort to recruit more mentors for our organization. Introduce Jeff Poe, who's been a Big Brother with our organization, and finally address how you can help us spread the message and spread the word for our need in the community. So that being said, I'd like to introduce Sharon Watts, who's the community life mobilizer for CTC. We're fortunate they selected us probably about a year and a half ago to be a partner with them and do some collaborative work in some of their efforts. So I'd like to introduce Sharon to the stage.
Good morning. As Mike says, this is a great opportunity for us to bring awareness to efforts in the community. My name is Sharon Watts, and I am a community mobilizer for York County Community Care, and I do thank you for the opportunity. For those of you that are not familiar with Communities That Care, it is a comprehensive planning system that is recognized nationally for its research-based approaches in guiding a community in behavioral health prevention efforts. The county began with York County Communities of Care here in 2009, as Mike alluded to. It was initiated by the Human Services Department, and it's currently being funded by the Commission on Crime and Delinquency, and also by the Office of Children, Youth, and Families. It really is a proactive process, and the activities are really planned and carried out by a coalition of members of the community who are working together to promote positive youth outcomes here in York County. York County Communities of Care, we use the PACE, which is the Pennsylvania Youth Survey, as a method for measuring success in increasing what we call protective factors and decreasing risk factors identified as priorities. And that would lead me to the first slide here. The PACE is actually administered every 2 years to students in grades 6, 8, 10, and 12 throughout the county. In 2009, approximately 12,000 young people gave us their opinion to assist in the community planning efforts. We just got the report of the 2011 data, and our data committee is currently analyzing that information, and we hope to bring that to you in a fuller form as we are planning a town hall meeting in April. And I see George is here, he's part of that data committee, and we'll be hopefully running to a meeting right after this. Basically, what we're looking to do is, and this leads to the next slide. It's been identified with priorities for York County. What was identified in the last one in terms of risk factors was the parental attitude favorable towards antisocial behavior and family conflict. And then those lowest of the protective factors, which brings me here with the partnership with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, are opportunities for and rewards for pro-social involvement. York County Communities of Care is currently partnering with Big Brothers and Sisters. We fund a case manager position with them, for them, and we are also embarking on venues like this to bring awareness for their program to allow folks to become involved with that process. And before I say what you like on this, an effort for York County Communities of Care this year, if you look on the table there, there's information that's more specific about the coalition. On the back is what we are promoting as, I believe it's the first countywide student essay contest. And that contest, the questions were developed through the results of the PACE. It's for any youth in York County in 11th and 12th grade. The contest runs through February the 15th. You can go to our website, yorkcountyctc.org, to download the application. It's being partnered with the county commissioners, and it's being sponsored by Memorial Hospital Foundation. We have 28 prizes. We will be giving cash prizes, and the top winner is a $2,000 cash reward. And so we're hoping to spread the word, and you're helping us do this today, to show young people that we are listening to them, and that we are providing them some opportunities to be positive role models. And with that being said, again, I'd like to introduce one of the programs that we are sponsoring this year, and that is Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Thank you.
We're fortunate to have the support of CTC. It's enabled us to do a lot of marketing projects and actually pay for a part-time staff member that works in our office for the past year and a half that we plan on sustaining once the grant period ends in April. So it allowed us to do a new website, allowed us to do this 30 Days campaign, so you may see some of the billboards that we have. So thank you to CTC in partnering with us and having the confidence in us to deliver to the community. If you want to go to the next slide, I just want to touch a little bit about Big Brothers and Big Sisters and what we do. We believe that inherent in every child is the ability to succeed and thrive in life. We are a partner, we're all part of the nation's largest mentoring network, Big Brothers and Big Sisters of America. But we do have our local board that provides local guidance to our local agency. We ask that mentors develop positive relationships that have a direct and lasting impact on the lives of the young people that come into our program. We do that through two basic mentoring programs that we have. I'm going to click to the next slide. We have a community-based mentoring program, which is the traditional Big Brothers and Big Sisters model that we think about. We also have a school-based program where mentors from the high school come down and mentor the elementary school students. Our community-based program serves children 6 to 13, and we ask the only requirement for volunteers that they be 19 years of age or older. Currently in our community-based program, we have 52 active matches, and we're actively looking to grow that caseload. Like I said, we do have I'm fortunate to have another case manager in our office, whereas in the past we only had one and really had the ability to serve 50 matches. Going into 2013, we now have 2 and the ability to manage another 50 matches. So that's why we're actively out there looking for volunteers. It didn't take me too long being on the job that I realized that mentors weren't going to line up out front of our office. So I need to get out here places like this to look for them. Our SMART program, which is our school-based program, we are currently in 12 school districts, and we have 23 programs throughout York and Adams counties. We're serving, last year we served about 200 kids in those programs. This year we added 6 new ones, and we're serving about 260 kids in those programs. So you can kind of see the balance that we have within our organization. Our traditional model is that community model. However, we're serving much more, a larger base through our community, or through our SMART-based program. So this is the year that we're really looking to grow our community-based model. If you want to go to the next slide, please. Who are our littles, or who are the children that we serve? We took the term at risk out of our mission. I find it hard to believe that there are not too many kids out there that aren't growing up in an at-risk sort of world. They're facing adversity, like all of our children as we raise them, face adversity in their lives. What they don't have is somebody to go to, somebody to be a mentor, a guide, a teacher, an educator, somebody to be there for them that they can count on. Our kids are not broken. They just need a little bit of help and some guidance as they move forward in their lives. I also quickly realized we don't have the ability to serve the extreme cases. I can't ask a volunteer to safely go out and work with a child who may be too far involved in the juvenile justice system. So we really try to put some parameters around the children that we serve. So when you think about the kids that we're working with, they're not the folks that are already involved in the juvenile justice system. The folks that are good kids, they do well in school, they may be struggling socially, they may be struggling academically, they may not have a parent or a guardian to look up to. So that's what we're looking to do, is provide that for them. Who are our bigs? Like I said, we look for adults aged 19 years or older. People often ask me what the typical big looks like. Over the past year or so, I'm slowly starting to figure that out. These are the young professionals, generally speaking. We get the young professionals before they start having children of their own. And we often get the empty nesters, so after the children go off to college, they have some more time available to us. So those are two groups that we're looking to target. It doesn't say we have an age cap. Lots of people ask me, am I too old to be a big brother? I would say my advice to that is if you have the energy to run around with a youngster, we will certainly have you as a part of our organization. Safety, child safety is our #1 concern in our programs. In light of everything going on in the state of Pennsylvania, we took a serious look at our safety measures and put in place some guidelines and procedures, not only to protect our children, but to protect our volunteers as well. We realize that there's some sensitive times that you may experience, but we put those parameters in place and those guidelines to try to keep you out of those situations. We also have case management services. Our case managers are an integral part to the mentoring relationship. We look at 4 basic parties in each match. Of course, the big and the little, the mom or the guardian or the parent, and also our caseworker. Between the 4 of them, it's integral that the communication is open so we can prevent any safety measures or safety issues from coming about. So that's what our case management services are there to provide. What do we ask for in our mentors? I equate it to running a 5K. A 5K is not really extraordinary. But when you think about a marathon, that's extraordinary because it takes more commitment, it takes more preparation. We're not looking for a one-day opportunity or one-month opportunity. We're looking for a long-term commitment kids have seen the cycle of people coming and going in their lives. So we do ask for a minimum of a 1-year commitment. Within that, we ask for a few hours a month, or a few hours a week, a few hours a couple of times a month. So if that's 2 hours every other week, that's plenty of time for you to make an impact in a child's life. I think some people think that it may be too much of a commitment and they don't have the time to do it. But as I put up there, we just ask that you incorporate these kids as part of your normal routine. Take them to the grocery store. Teach them how to clean up your yard. Teach them about cleaning up around the house. Take them to the park. Teach them how to read. Do their homework with them. Incorporate them into your lives. Give them someone to emulate as they grow in their lives. We also offer a number of free and low-cost activities through various activities that we do within our office. The staff also does a nice job of putting together a monthly calendar that's distributed to all of our bigs, highlighting some of the free things that are going on in the community, because the expectation is not that you spend money on these children. In fact, in our guidelines, we ask that you don't spend money on them at all. We certainly realize that you want to reward them at times for the good work that they do. We do encourage that. But we ask, as far as the financial commitment, to try to keep that as a minimum. Our program outcomes, these are pretty impressive. If you want to move to the next slide, these are the impacts that we're making in our programs. 46% of the kids are less likely to get involved in drugs and alcohol. 52% are less likely to skip school or drop out altogether. 33% are less likely to get involved in a violent crime. And if you want to go to the next slide, as some of our long-term impacts that we're making, these statistics are from a study conducted from littles who participated in our program who are now in their adult lives. 90% of them feel better about themselves. 81% of them changed what they thought was possible. 77% set higher goals than they would have set on their own. And 42% of them obtained a 4-year degree compared to only 22% of their fathers and 24% of their mothers. So the long-term impacts that our programs are having are working, and that's proved by independent research, and that's why we're an evidence-based program, as Sharon was referring to earlier. Next slide, please. Right now, we are conducting, in conjunction with National Mentoring Month, we are actively out there looking for new bigs. We titled this campaign 30 Bigs in 30 Days in an effort to try to get 30 new mentors into our organization. It's also an effort to increase community awareness about our programs and services, and actively looking for new people to get involved. We have a couple of events coming up throughout the month. Actually, tomorrow, like I said, is Thank Your Mentor Day. We'll have a small station down at the Central Market, so if you're in there eating lunch, come over and visit us. We'll have some stationery where you can jot a quick thank you note to your mentor. We'll provide the postage in an envelope, and you can send that off. Just a way for us to be visible out there in the community and celebrating this month. We also have 2 other sort of recruitment events. One of them we're titling Be My Hero. Friday night we'll be down at Liquid Hero, looking for folks that are interested in serving up with our organization. And on Saturday the 26th, we titled it Heroes, or Heroes. We'll be at the White Rose Bar and Grill, pretty much hitting the lunch crowd and the dinner crowd, not being invasive in your meals by any means, but just be there if anyone's interested in learning more about getting involved in our organization. Next slide, please. So how can you help? I realize that some of you are not the mentors that we're looking for in our organization, but I do ask that you use your connections to help us spread the word. If you're not interested in volunteering, which we would love to have you, but refer other folks to our organization. Help us share the message that we're out there actively looking for mentors, and there's young people out there that need them in their lives. We're happy to come out. I come from the United Way campaign. We pretty much go anywhere at any time and speak to anyone. So I carry that philosophy with me through here at Big Brothers, Big Sisters. I'm happy to come to your workplace, your church, your networking group, whatever it may be. If I have 3 or 4 people who are interested in learning more about our programs, I'm happy to go out and speak to those folks. And perhaps even considering partnering with us from a corporate standpoint. There's other communities that have a home beyond school walls programs. We're similar to our site-based model where the high school kids come down to the elementary school. Sometimes they take groups of students to the workplace once a week for an hour, and they do mentoring within the workplace. I'm open to exploring that opportunity if anyone's willing to be a pilot company to help us get that started. It's another way for us to serve more kids here in this community. So that being said, I don't think I need to give any better example than to invite one of our bigs up here. So I'd like to invite Jeff Poet to the podium. Jeff's been involved in our program for a number of years. And Jeff's going to tell a little bit about his experience with our organization and his little brother with this.
Thanks, Mike. Perhaps you're wondering why a 50-some-year-old would be a big brother. Frankly, I wonder too. While riding the roller coaster at Hershey Park, the local swimming pool, trying to do a backflip that I used to do when I was young, trying to ride a skateboard, the main objective is not to get hurt. However, the next morning I do hurt. About 6 years ago, our company had signed up for United Way participation, and I noticed a couple of young new associates were contributing, they were giving dollars designated to Big Brothers Big Sisters. I'm like, wow. I'm curious. So I had breakfast with them, they told me a little bit more about what it was about. And I thought, gee, that's different than what I or most of us all in this room do as Rotarians. I mean, we all know we serve on boards, we serve committee positions, we raise money, we donate money. But here I hold a chance to have a genuine relationship with a young chap that certainly comes from social and economic background, far different than what I was blessed to come up in, and I'm sure different than the children that you're raising. So, my life with Lewis begins. Lewis at the time was an 8-year-old. His heritage is Puerto Rican. He lives with his grandmother, who speaks a smattering of English. His mother died when he was an infant, and his father was supposedly shot. Does have several aunts and uncles who live in York and lots of cousins. So in a way, it's a happy family. At this point, I think there's a picture of myself and Lois. See if you can pop that up. I was on a day, a year or so back, we were down to Inner Harbor, and I don't know how well you can see it, but put a camera in front of him. He's a real ham. So it was a nice day. Gaining trust, how to communicate with an 8-year-old you just met. It was a challenge. Big Brother suggested, when we did this, that we took a big calendar and we marked a calendar each week and time we would pick him up. The problem was we would go pick him up. Sometimes my wife went with him, by the way. Get there, no Lewis, no family. You go, Jeff, why don't you call first? The answer is most times the phone's disconnected. But over a year and a half, slowly but surely, we began to get through, and Lewis began to realize, I'll be there. Now it's up to you to let me know if you won't be there. Because these kids really don't have too much permanence and constancy in their life. So that's what I think he began to realize. Jeff will be there if he says he'll be there. Types of activities. I'd like to compliment the YMCA. Their Saturday morning programs, we took Lewis to basketball, gym, soccer. These programs are great. And that was a core activity that we did for 3 or 4 years. Recently, I mean, like all your kids, the computer, electronic games, all this stuff. One thing we did is I hooked up a Wii at my office, a big TV in our showroom. So we go there, and as Lewis said, we go to chill, which in his mind is basically he just wants to get on that computer and get on to Facebook or whatever. Which brings me to expect the unexpected. One day I was there, he's on Facebook, and I'm over on the other side of the showroom on the computer. And all I hear him kind of exclaim, "That's my dad." Lewis, what did you say? "I think my dad's alive." So I run over and I says, "What's this? Did you reply?" He says, "Yeah." He says, "Lewis, we need to call your grandma." Sure enough, we get through. His father is alive, lives in Brooklyn. Can you imagine finding out when you're age 10 or 11 that your father you thought was dead, finding out he's alive on Facebook? That was pretty powerful. A couple months later, we're over at Regent's Glen, kind of driving around in a golf cart. And Lewis likes to ride in a golf cart, doesn't much care about hitting golf balls. And now, real quickly, golf's not that easy, right, Mike? Yeah.
Easier for you.
Yeah. Lewis is agitated that day. He said, "Lewis, what's up?" And he goes, "I'm expecting my dad's going to come visit me." I said, "Really? Great." It was a long later get a text, "Dad's not going to show." I could tell he was hurting. Later, it was a beautiful day, we drive along, and he goes, "Jeff, I don't think my dad's ever going to come see me. I don't think he really what type of words of wisdom do you give a young boy, you know, in a situation like this? I guess I said something, in fact, you know, Louis, I know you're hurting, but remember someday when you're older, if you're a parent, just remember how important it is to be there for your child. I think he got it. And so we'll see where that goes. But that's, you know, wow, find out that your father is alive on Facebook. That's been something. Kind of in wrapping, we were coming back Sunday night from a hockey game up at Hershey. I said to him, hey, I'm going to have to get up and speak in front of 200 people on Wednesday and talk to him a little bit about Big Brother. I said, tell me, what's the relationship as a big brother or little brother that you and I have? At the time, he had the iPad and his eyeballs were glued to him. Eventually, he got focused and he said, you know, Jeff, friendship. It's all about friends, you know, forever. You know, I got your back, you got my back. It has been a unique friendship. It truly has been. And I would encourage all of you to think about the mentoring program with yourselves, perhaps people in the company, son or daughter. I think the experience, particularly for young adult help and for parenting, would be a wonderful experience. I know personally for me, it's helped me to be a better grandparent. I never had natural children, but with stepchildren, we had a young granddaughter who was 2 years of age when I started with Lois. Now she's 8. Now it's a grandson too. And I know it's helped me work with the grandchildren with having worked with Lois. So I would simply wrap up and say, I don't know what Lewis's life has in store for him or whether I'll really make that much of a difference. But I do know that I think I've given him a better chance to have a better life. So thanks for letting me share my life with Lois.
I don't think I could have told the story as well as Jeff, but you can see the impact that we have on kids' lives. I'm just going to read you a quick quote from my little brother, who I met when he was 9. He's now 20 years old, has 2 kids of his own, lived his life a little faster than I hoped. But after many years, I finally got, you always look for that thank you, that final moment. But he said to me in a text, and I just was writing this down as I came up here. Thanks for everything that you did for me over the years. You're truly an angel. You're the best father figure I could ever ask for. I will teach my kids like you growing up. We love you and your family so much. And it makes me a little emotional thinking about the impact that I've had on Parish's life. Similar to Louis, he didn't have a father growing up. And one of the proudest things I'm proud of the parish is he's now the father of his kids. And so that's the impacts that we make. And we ask that you join us or consider spreading the word and spreading the message about the good work that Big Brothers and Big Sisters is doing in this community. I want to thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention today. There's plenty of literature on the tables. You can reach out to us, and I can promise you that we'll certainly take care of you if you're interested in serving as a mentor with our organization. So again, thank you for the opportunity to be here today.
Fantastic story. Thank you very much. Jeff, great job with the personal touch. Excellent. Chairman, thanks for coming. I think we all have a better understanding of Big Brothers, Big Sisters, at least I do. It was fantastic. Another our continuing series of excellent programs in this club. Next week, speaker will be one of